Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Ramaya Ramabhadraya Vedhase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha Kujantam Rama Rameti Madhuram Madhuraksharam Aruhya Kavita Shakham Vande Valmiki Kokilam sarvamaṅgaḻa-māṅgaļyaṃ sarvapāpa-praṇāśanam chintāśōka-praśamanaṃ āyurvardhanamuttamam. So, I was talking about this Vedantic cosmogony in the context of the word Aditya, which is derived from Aditi. So, Aditi is the power of Brahman. Now, Brahman as manifest universe is invariably associated with the power of manifestation. It is something like gold is gold, but you talk of gold as having the quality of malleable and ductile nature, because that allows the gold to be converted to manifest in the form of many ornaments. Therefore, when you say gold is gold, then gold is Nirguna Brahma. But then gold is manifesting in the form of all these ornaments because it has the property of malleable and ductile nature. That is Aditi. So it is the same gold. From the standpoint of the ornaments, you say it is malleable and ductile. But from its own standpoint, it is gold. Same way Brahman. So Brahman is Nishkriya, Nirvikara, Nishkriya. And it is the reality which is changeless, beginningless, endless, and there is no transformation in it. It doesn't cause anything, and it is not caused by anything else. That is what the Brahman is. That is the Nirguna Brahman. But then we experience a world, and we have to account for this world. And this world has originated from Brahman, Janmadhyasya Yataha. In such a situation, you have to look at the Brahman as the potential that can manifest as this universe. And therefore, that power of manifestation is Aditi. But then Aditi is not different from Brahman. Something like malleable and ductile nature, can it stand apart from gold? No. Same way the Aditi. Therefore, now we have three words, Brahman, Aditi, and Brahman associated with it Aditi called Saguna Brahma. The name of the Saguna Brahma is sometimes Hiranyagarbha. It is called Hiranyagarbha sometimes. Okay. To be very precise, Brahman Nirguna, Brahman associated with the power of manifestation, that is Aditi, is Ishvara. And that Aditi manifests as the cosmic intelligence, and Brahman associated with that cosmic intelligence is Hiranyagarbha. That is the strict cosmogony. Therefore, now how many words have come? Brahman, Ishvara, Aditi, and Hiranyagarbha. All are same. All are same. It is the same Brahman. Don't assume there are four things. There are not even two things like Brahman, Nirguna, Brahman, Saguna. There are no such things. Everything is same. But to account for this world experience, you invoke the power. And so then you assume the potential and kinetic. So potential is Aditi, and Aditi manifesting as cosmic intelligence, that is the kinetic, and that accounts for this world. That is the cosmogony associated with the word Aditya. Then Aditya Hṛdayam is the name of the book, or it is also name of the Upasana. And there the word is like this, Aditya Hṛdaye yasmin tat. In which upasana word can be napumsakalinga as well as strilinga. It could be either upasanam or it is upasana. No pumlinga. Therefore, here you take the napumsakalinga. Therefore, Aditya Hṛdaye, the sun, the power of God in the solar orb, that is the Aditya, is also in the Hṛdaya. Therefore, that way you can do it samasa. Aditya Hṛdaye yasmin tat upasanam, that is Aditya Hṛdayam. Like that you can do. So, otherwise, Adityascha asau Hṛdayancha etat. This upasana, it is Aditya and it is also Hṛdaya. Therefore, Aditya Hṛdayam. Two possibilities. Okay. So, now here are a few questions. I was putting aside the questions. Now let me look at a few questions before taking up the expression chintāśōka-praśamanaṃ. That is the expression that we have to look at. So this Aditya Hṛdayam, it helps us to overcome chinta, means worry, anxiety, and also shoka, sorrow. Chinta is about the future. Shoka is always from the past. Both can be overcome by the Aditya Hṛdaya upasana. That is the idea. So, but before we proceed further with that expression, here is a question. I have heard about Ekarupa, Anekarupa, and Arupa Bhakti. You see, it is not that somebody said it, you have heard it, you don't want to look at it like that. You don't want to depend upon people saying different things. In fact, you may not want to depend upon so many scriptural texts also. You prefer to examine the whole thing in yourself, because bhakti is what? Devotion, love. Now, that is something which you experience in yourself. It is not something that somebody has to say about or some book has to write about. It is something that you experience in yourself. Therefore, you listen to what all people say, and also you may want to read a text or two, please do that also. But ultimately, you have to look at the whole thing from your own inner feeling and experience point of view. That will be the best. Be a guide unto yourself. Be a light unto yourself. All things have to be settled on that basis. Normally, people have forgotten that. People, what they do, they rely upon what others say, and they rely upon the variety of books that write about the topic. So they rely upon these two. They don't rely upon themselves. As long as you rely upon these outer two things, totally ignoring your own inner light, you will remain in doubt only. These doubts will never end. Now, you asked me a question, therefore I am saying bhakti is love. Love for the truth. That is what bhakti is. No, love for God. God is the truth. Another name for the truth is God. You don't want to convert God into a person. That is not what we are talking about. So, in Telugu we call it Peddayana, means some elderly guy. So, that's why to make God, the idea that God is an elderly guy, to make it that very clear, they put white beard and white hair to God. In murals, in Christian murals, so there is a priest on the ground. In the mural, big mural. In Mexico, etc., you come across these murals. So they are done by Spanish artists. During the Spanish Inquisition time, all these murals came. And so in those murals, there is a priest below on the ground. The priest has the Spanish features. So he has come from Spain. And then all the local people are there, big crowd. They all have Mexican features. They are the local Mexican people, men and women. And then he has a cross in his hand. He is preaching to them. They are all looking at him with wonder and with inquiry and all that. Then there are clouds above. And above the clouds are white, not rain-bearing clouds, just white clouds. And blue sky. And above the white clouds, there is an elderly person with white beard and white hair. I was examining this mural. I did not know who is this white man, a white beard wala. Then I asked my friend, who is that? Everything else I could follow. He said, don't you see, that is God. So you want to take God like that? Come on. Therefore, and then not they have to deal with only one elderly guy. Whereas now we have to deal with multiple of them, men and women also. Are you serious about all that? So, you see, a friend of mine sent me an article which is published in a journal. The article title is The Conclusion of Quantum Mechanics is the Oneness. That is the title article. Because recently in 2022, they have given a Nobel Prize for 3 physicists for discovering what is called quantum entanglement. So, to put it briefly, if the particles are different, or different particles are different entities, if different atoms are different entities, different objects are different entities, then there cannot be any quantum entanglement. It is not possible. Quantum entanglement is possible only when, in spite of all these things appearing separate, in essence they are all one. Then only quantum entanglement becomes possible. They are not multiple, they are one. This is the article, and he connects this quantum entanglement of the modern physics to the monism, that is Advaita of India, and the Taoism, which speaks of Advaita, and also Confucianism, which talks of Advaita, and some of the Buddhist sects who talk of the oneness of the truth. So he connects it like that. This is how even the Western world is moving forward in that direction. Therefore, you cannot be serious about devotion to Ekarupa, devotion to Anekarupa, devotion to Arupa. So I would suggest you have the Rupas, have the form. The topic has come, you have to deal with it. You have the form. Now you cannot worship multiple forms at the same time. Can you offer one flower to multiple forms at the same time? You cannot do that. You can offer a flower at a given as a single act of devotion. You can offer a flower to one form, right? Then if you want to take care of the other form, you want to be devoted to another form, then again take another flower and offer it to another form. So at any given moment, you are devoted to one form only. You are not devoted to multiple forms. When you see these 2 fingers, you do not see 2 fingers in one cognition. You see them one after the other, bari, one after the other. There is no question of seeing both fingers in one single cognition. Similarly, you cannot worship different gods or goddesses in one act of devotion. You have to shift the act of devotion from one form to the other form, to the other form, to the other form. God bless you. You please continue that. But understand one thing, all these forms are superimpositions of the human mind. Every single form has its origin in human thought, and the reality is beyond thought. Okay? And therefore, it is possible to relate with the truth through a given form. And when you are not satisfied with one form, then one more form, then one more form. That is how the forms have proliferated. Therefore, you examine, how do you want to look at it? The truth is formless. Amarupa are unreal. But you can still have the unreal, like you have a passport photograph of your beloved, The passport photograph is not the real. It is not the beloved. It is only a representation, a symbol of the beloved. Same thing with regard to these forms also. These forms, you can say, are only the representations of the formless. You tell me wealth. What is the form of the wealth? What form wealth has? No form, appa. What is the form of wealth? There is no form for wealth. But wealth is a thing. It is there, and you know what it is. You own it, own some of it also. You use it in your day-to-day life. But it doesn't have a form. But still, you can have a lady form to represent the wealth. What is the form of knowledge? No form. But still, you can have a lady form to represent knowledge. What is the form of power? No form. But still, you can have a lady form to represent power. What is the form of obstacles? There is no form. Obstacle is not a form. But still you can represent, you can have a particular form to represent the power to overcome the obstacles. So like that, even when you are relating to multiple forms, they are only symbols. You have to understand that they are not the truth. The form is not the truth. The form is at best the symbol of the truth. And you should also know that the symbol is not the truth. Symbol is only symbol. Truth is different from the symbol, just like the passport size photograph. So I always like to give this example. I don't know whether I can impress you with that example. When I go to the airport, you show the identity card. Photo identity it is called. If you bring an identity without photo, it is not acceptable. Photo identity, and you give it to them. After checking the boarding pass, they look at the identity card and then they look at you. The person there looks at the identity card and looks at you. In my case, again look and again look at again 2-3 times, then satisfied the same guy and then allow him to go. That means the symbol is not the truth. If the symbol is the truth, then why should she compare and contrast with the face before her? The lady there, lady or whosoever. Therefore, the symbol is only a symbol. It is not the truth. And so, you have chosen to worship the real in a symbol. All the time understanding that it is only a symbol, a form symbol, representing the formless truth. That is how you have to worship. That is number one. Number two, the forms may be many, but the vastu is one. Symbols are many for the same reality. That is the second point. If you understand these 2 points and worship many forms, or you understand this point correctly and worship one form, these 2 points must be clearly understood. Then it is the real upasana. It gets the status of upasana. If these 2 points are ignored, then it becomes a kind of idolatry, which is not a very great thing. Okay? It may have its place in the popular religion. Therefore, why do you get into this kind of a language, ekarupa, anekarupa, arupa, etc.? So now I have made clear the connection between all the three. Therefore, the truth is one. It is neither ekarupa nor anekarupa. It is essentially arupa. It is not even arupa. With reference to rupa, you call it arupa. So, but in itself, it is neither sarupa nor arupa. Therefore, you have to understand the principles of the vision of Vedanta, even in the upasana. Then the upasana will uplift. So, the upasana, which is put in the category of bhakti, must be mixed with this certain appropriate amount of understanding. That is one thing. So, that is clear. Then, the topic of manda, madhyama, uttama adhikaris. This topic comes. It is a valid topic. Even in Mandukya, the word manda, madhyama, uttama is mentioned by the Acharya, Gaudapada Acharya. That means a person who is manda means a bit dull, and who is madhyama, he has progressed to a middle level, and he is uttama, he is at the top level. These three levels are there. Now, suppose you are looking at a mathematics class, okay? Do you, while teaching some mathematics, algebra or whatever to the students, say 40 students are there, will you divide the students into manda, madhyama and uttama? Will you do that? If you do that, they will revolt against you. You don't do that. You don't divide the students like that. You know, some are very good, some are not so good or moderately good, some are not good at all. You know that. Now your teaching is aimed at all the three equally. And the purpose of the teaching is to uplift not so good to the good level, to uplift below good to the level of not so good, and then ultimately to the highest level. That is how you have to teach. You cannot teach, you cannot divide people into multiple levels. Can you do that in a school? Can you do that? Can you divide like that? What is the outcome of teaching, how they fare in the exam, all that is different. While teaching, the goal is, all the students are aimed. They are all aimed at, and every one of them should understand. That is the goal, right? Or it is enough that the top students understand and other students need not understand. Is it like that? It is not like that. And also, the manda, madhyama, uttama, to begin with you are manda, the same person is madhyama, the same person is uttama. That is the way it has to be understood. Not that certain group are manda, certain others are madhyama, and the rest are uttama. If I do that, what people will do, no, people are very clever. They will all say we are all mandas and escape. Because you have provided an avenue to escape, and they will take it. Nobody will say I am uttama. Because if you to say uttama means you are taking some extra burden upon yourself and all that, this atmajnanam and all that. If I get atmajnanam, what will happen to my bank account? That kind of a worry also could be there. Therefore, nobody will come forward. They all would love to be stamped manda. We are all mandas. So then what Vedanta should I teach? So because you are all mandas, shall I teach some elementary things that Brahma Jagat Karanam, etc., and tell a few jokes and then give good food? Are you satisfied with that? All will say yes. Now, that is not the way to go about it. Therefore, that is the effort. We are manda. No, you are not manda. Why you are manda? Atma of a manda is different from the Atma of a madhyama and uttama. It is the same Atma. And if you allow the mind to become creative, if you can put aside the entire memory of the mind, then you become creative. Now, when you are putting aside the memory, 100% memory put aside, 50% memory put aside, 30% memory put aside. What will be the difference in the outcome? No difference. All are same. It is not something to be recognized or realized with the mind. And therefore, it doesn't matter whether you have a very high IQ or medium IQ or low IQ. It just doesn't matter. Because IQ has to be put aside in any case. Therefore, what is this manda, madhyama, uttama? Not in the ability to understand yourself, not in that. The manda, madhyama, uttama is only in the kind of earnestness that you have. Some people are not earnest because they don't want to be earnest. Because if we become earnest towards the vision of Vedanta, what will happen to the samsara? What will happen to my wife and children? What will happen to my job and my promotion? And then if we become very earnest about Vedanta, what will happen to the God that I have put there? The other God I have put elsewhere? What will happen to all these gods? So this kind of some kind of a factor that is pulling you back must be there to preventing the total earnestness. In that sense, you are manda. You could overcome some of these pulls and take a step forward and willing to become more earnest. That is madhyama. You are right earnest, sometimes called it dead earnest. Then you are uttama. Same person is manda, madhyama, uttama. It's not that different. Some group is manda, some group is madhyama. It is not like that. Therefore, the teaching, Shankara Bhashya, it is meant for whom? Is it meant for mandas or madhyamas or uttamas? Is it not meant for all? When Shankara Bhashya is meant for all, why the teaching should be meant for different people differently? Therefore, I suggest you come out of this mode, manda, madhyama, uttama, etc. And you stop categorizing yourself as manda or madhyama. Okay, you be uttama. Why not be an uttama? So there is a desire to be an uttama adhikari. Good. Keep it. And become more earnest. That is a good desire. That desire is a worth keeping desire. Therefore, that is not from ahankara. Is the desire from ahankara? No, it is not from ahankara. It is coming from that earnestness, not ahankara. Ahankara is different. It is okay to encourage it. Yeah, it should be encouraged. So, you have to outgrow your desires and vasanas. This is not such a desire that you have to outgrow. That I want to be very earnest in knowing the truth of the self. You used the word I want or I desire. Therefore it is a desire. No. Just because you have used the word want or desire, it doesn't become a desire. Desire means it is something other than you, it is outside of you, and you believe that because you do not have it, you lack something in yourself, and when you get it, you will be embellished. That is desire. This has nothing to do with it, because earnestness is in you. Love for truth is in you. Not in you, it is you. So these gunas, by the time you understand them, they become one with you. They become one with the jnata. Suppose you understand that creativeness, that openness, you have an open mind, that openness. Now that openness, it becomes yourself. That earnestness to know the truth becomes yourself. It doesn't stand apart from you. Suppose you do some exercise. You feel the wellness. Now, I am here and the wellness is there. Is it like that? No, wellness becomes yourself. So, by the time you experience it, it becomes one with the experiencer. Therefore, be an uttamadhikari. So, and feel like keep waiting for them to outgrow. Don't wait for it. Nothing is in the future. Uttamadhikaritvam in this birth. Why in this birth? Now you are uttamadhikari. Therefore, think about the things which I have said. You may want to listen to it one more time and apply to yourself. I mean, rise beyond the verbal expression and try to feel what is being said, apply to yourself, and try to understand yourself in the context of what is being said by the speaker. Is that clear, that question? I understand that Sakshi is not a doer. This is the next, tomorrow morning question it is. So, morning questions we will see in the morning only Upasana. This is the Aditya Hṛdayam question. So, Uttarakanda, I said, it is an addition, what they call extrapolation. Ramayana was over, and somebody, some scholarly person, not a great scholar, when you read the verses, you can see that it is not the Valmiki. It is not Valmiki. Shall I tell you a small anecdote to explain it? But then the time you have to give for 5 minutes time. There was a Vedic scholar in Bhoja Maharaja's court. Not court, Bhoja Maharaja's town in Ujjaini, and King Bhoja was ruling. There was a Vedic scholar. But King Bhoja loved poets. He did not like Vedic people. Vedic people, they just go on chanting. They don't even know the meaning, most of them. So he did not enthused by this chant. He is very much thrilled by poetry. And therefore, this Vaidika, his wife tells, why don't you write a poem and take to the king? The king will reward you. Then he says, I don't know how to write poems, I can only know how to chant. And the king is not interested in any chant. What to do? You write a poem. I don't know how to write poem. What do you mean by I don't know? You are chanting so many things from morning to evening. Write a poem, start it. Some Sanskrit words put together. So what are ideas I don't know, I will tell. You write, oh Raja, give me good food. You write it. Bhojanande hi Rajendra. And good food means the dal and ghee. Okay, that is good food. Ghrotasopa samanvitam. He wrote it. One line is over. One more line has to come. Where from he will get. Even the wife is not having any more ideas to offer. And he said, he tried and tried. He was exasperated and said, it is beyond me to write the second line. My whole power is over by the time the first line is put in place. Then the wife gave an advice. While Kalidasa is going to take bath in the river, there is a river there. While he is coming back, you touch his feet and request him to write a line and give for you. He did that. Then Kalidasa looked at the first line and he kept it like that, and he wrote the second line and gave it to him. Mahishancha Sharat Chandra Chandrika Dhavalam Dadhi, putting an upamana in it. Upama Kalidasasya. He put an upama there and added that. And then this Brahmana went to the king's court. Brahmana approached the Maharaja, I have wrote a poem and you please pay attention to it. He gave the palm leaf in which the poem is written. The king saw it and he called a Rakshaka Bhataha, the police, told him, Are you tell me the first line written by whom and the second line written by whom? Tell the truth, otherwise your head will go. Then he said, Maharaj, I made a mistake. First line is written by me, second line not by me. I borrowed it from some other poet. Who is that poet? Kalidasa. Okay, first line is dismissed. Because you told this truth, for the second line, I am giving you 10,000 gold coins. Take it. Now you understand? So when we read Ramayanam up to the end of Yuddhakanda, and then start Uttarakanda, I am telling my own experience. I start reading Uttarakanda, I could not even complete the first canto. It is such a loose thing, such a tasteless, no good poetry in it. There was a struggle to make the verses. It is not Valmiki. You don't need any proof. This is called internal evidence. There is evidence in the verses themselves that it is not by Valmiki. So that is extrapolation. But then there are some verses in the Balakanda in the beginning which hint at Uttarakanda. What about them? That is the question. This also I mentioned. Valmiki's Rama is a human being, ideal human being. He is not God. Not even the avatara of God, because the avatara word doesn't exist in the literature at that time. They used to use the word avatara only when somebody jumped into a well. Ava, jump into the well, and there you swim, you try to float. That is called avatara. That is how it was used. But now, as the time passes, we move from Ramayana times to Mahabharata time, and then we come to Purana time. Purana time is the Christian era, starting somewhere around 5th century or 6th century. Not the original Puranas. Some of them are very original, which are ancient, which are before the Christian era. But the later Puranas came in the Christian era. And in these Puranas, so the word avatara is introduced. Because now in the Purana, God is always above, not in this world. There is a name, I am going into it, therefore I am taking some time. There is a name given to Vishnu. Vishnu is called Triyugi. There are 4 yugas: Krita, Treta, Dvapara, Kali. Why Vishnu is called Triyugi? Because he incarnates only in Krita, Treta and Dvapara, never in Kali. That's why he is called Triyugi. So this is how the Puranas have brought in the concept of incarnation. Because in the vision of the Puranas, there is always a loka above, and God is living in that loka, in a palace. In a palace. Alavaikunఠపురంబులో Nagarilo Namula Saudhambulo, like poem, Telugu. Translation for Bhagavatam. There above, in the city of Vaikuntha, there is a posh locality where at the end of a road, there is a big palace, and inside that palace, there is a master bedroom where Lord Vishnu is sitting and playing chess with his wife. That is how the Purana looks at things. And therefore you needed avatara. Now Rama is made into an avatara by the Puranic mind. But Valmiki doesn't talk of avatara. He doesn't even have the concept of avatara in his time, which is quite ancient time. It came only recently compared with the original Ramayana. Ramayana is something like 7,000 before Christian era. Whereas these Puranas started in 600 Christian era, CE. What is the difference between the two? 7,500 years difference is there. Almost 7-8 millennia difference is there. And so the avatara concept is introduced into the Ramayana in some cantos here and there, and also in some verses here and there. They are called interpolations, and therefore, when the Uttarakanda became part of the Ramayana in the popular mind, as an extrapolation, a few verses are added. Why verses? Some cantos and verses are added as interpolations within the Ramayana, starting from Balakanda onwards. That is how these verses appear in Balakanda. In Balakanda, there is a verse which hints at Uttarakanda. What about that? That is the question. Now I have answered it. The question is settled. Good. Now we come to chintāśōka-praśamanam. The Aditya Hṛdaya, it helps to overcome suffering. Shoka is suffering. So, you see, why there is suffering in life? Sorrow. Why there is sorrow? You see, you should not look at the topical causes of the sorrow. Topical causes are there. Like it is my purse. Purse is in India, we call it purse. Here they call it wallet. So my purse I lost. Therefore I am sorrowful. That is called topical cause. And the one immediately everybody will look at their pocket. My purse is safe, my purse is safe. They are not sorrowful. Okay, only one person is sorrowful. That is the topical cause. Or somebody is near and dear, a person is no more. And therefore he is sorrowful. All others are okay. They express condolences which they do not really feel. Oh, I am sorry that you lost so and so. He is not sorry. Then why he says like that? He is supposed to say like that. That is the custom. People are, they play things in the customs. They are kind of submit themselves to the customs, various customs. Therefore, when somebody loses a person near and dear, it is customary to express condolences. Suppose that person who died is very sick and very old, he died. You don't go and congratulate him. Even then you express condolences only. Strictly speaking, you should go and congratulate. Hey, congratulations, Appa, your father is no more. You should be able to say like that because he is very sick and all that. But if you say that, they will be aghast. And I am not supposed to say that. Once it happened to me. Somebody telephoned and said, I have a very old person suffering from a lot of illnesses and he is suffering a lot. And then he told he is no more. Oh, very good. God bless. Then I have to cut back my speech and oh, sorry, appa, sorry. Like that. So anyway, these are all topical causes for suffering. So we are in Vedanta, we do not address topical causes of suffering. Once we give a cause for suffering, it applies to the entire humanity of all times. All suffering is in life. All suffering in life. In everybody's life there is suffering. The real cause of suffering is the self-identification with the limited and the transient. You identify with wealth. You identify with the entire wealth of the universe and see what happens. You try that. Sometimes I tried. The money that is there in the wallets of all the people's pockets, that is all my money only, and I feel very good about it. I did not take it. Why should I take it? If I take it, I have to preserve it. Another extra dam. I need not take it. Let it be there. You are my bank. I take it when I need it. All the money all the wealth in this universe is my wealth. You identify like that. Then you are in peace and you are in joy. All young people, male and female, are my children only. Then you are in joy. That kind of, there is no such identification. There is identification in a very narrow way. Through the tunnel of me and mine, there is identification. That is the self-identification with the limited. So a particular person, a particular young man is my son, not all the young men. If the entire world of young men are my children, then I am not sorrowful. There is no reason to be sorrowful. But when one particular young man, of millions of young men, one particular young man is my son, that is how you identify. And now you have created a life of sorrow for yourself. Therefore, this is self-identification with the limited and the transient. You identify. That is the that is the real cause of sorrow. So, and then Aditya Hṛdayam, it helps you to overcome such a self-identification. Because in Aditya Hṛdayam, the effulgence in the solar orb, it is the same effulgence in your heart. You are that effulgence. You are not the limited body and mind. And therefore, in that vision, there is no place for any self-identification. Like my wealth, my home, my son, my daughter, there is no scope for that self-identification. You should be willing to overcome it, at least during prayer to God. You rise above this self-identification. To the extent you rise above such self-identification with the limited. Now here you are identifying with the effulgence of the solar orb. That is the identification. Means you are identifying with the infinite. That is the Aham Brahmasmi. Means I am the infinite. That is the way you have to identify. Instead of that, you identify with a 5 feet 10 inches bundle of bones and flesh, a bag of bones. You identify with the limited, and that makes us suffer to no end in life. And fortunately, if you understand Aditya Hṛdayam and practice it correctly, then this identification, it snaps, and you are likely to come out of the sorrow that is engendered by all kinds of self-identification with the limited and transient. Okay? That is how chintāśōka-praśamanaṃ. You see, you look at your thought process. I suggest you hold on to a variety of wrong ideas which make you bewildered and afraid of life because of the variety of wrong ideas. Like I am this, I am that. Like that, all kinds of self-identification, and that generates a variety of wrong ideas about yourself, and that makes you bewildered. That is how people live, and therefore, because of these wrong ideas, and then because of these wrong identifications, people live in constant fear of loss. Constant. It is anxious. Why anxious? Because you will lose. It is like when we were in the college and university, from the village we have to go to the college and university which is in the town. There is a poem in Telugu. Arey, don't go near the town. Like that. Town pakkakellakuro. Like that there is a song. Don't go near the town, because town is a very corrupting thing it is. It will destroy your peace of mind. So anyway, we have to go to town to study in the college or university. And while going to the town, so father and mother, their mother packs all the things. Father comes to the bus station. Mother doesn't come to the bus station. And mother tells 10 times, take care the bag, keep an eye on the bag. In the railway station, keep an eye on the bag. And father tells before putting into the bus, Arey, your bag I have put above, carefully bring it down. And if the bus stops somewhere in between, be careful, keep an eye that somebody else will not bring down your bag and take it away. So this way, we were hardwired to worry. And so, the moment you enter into the bus stops somewhere, and somebody goes up to bring his luggage, and you keep an eye. And then go to the railway station, waiting sitting in a seat and waiting for the train to come, holding to the bag. And in the train you enter, it is 72 seats, 72 people should sit in one compartment. But you believe me, 250 people sit in that compartment, and I am one of them. And initially you keep contact with the luggage, but people push you this way, that way. A point comes when you are separated from your luggage. And now how to take care of the luggage? So whenever the train stops in a station, people are getting down. Look at them. And you put a marker for your luggage, put a red marker, etc. In those days, all the bags are not alike. Nowadays, that is the problem. In those days, every bag is a unique namuna, it is. And therefore, if somebody is taking away your bag, you can readily, if you are alert, you can point out and you can jump and hold him. So we used to do that. This is how people live whole life. People are anxious. They are worried that they will lose. That is how people live. That is the shoka. And Aditya Hṛdayam helps you to overcome that shoka, because there is nothing to lose. What is there to lose? You gain nothing and you lose nothing. All the wrong ideas that are there in the mind make us bewildered in life. And we live as anxious people, very unfortunate. And also we crave for all kinds of gain. That is how we live. Now once you understand that you are not the body-mind, you are the effulgence. What effulgence? The infinite effulgence of the sun is the same as the effulgence in you. And that vision takes hold in you, you become free from all fear and craving. So people, you see, what is the root cause of suffering? Ignorance of this true self. So you see, not to know, and not to know that one does not know is the cause of endless suffering in life. And in understanding the vision of Aditya Hṛdayam, it opens the door to the self-knowledge. Because what you call the self is no different from the effulgence of the Aditya. dhiyo yonah prachodayat. Therefore, Aditya Hṛdayam and its understanding and its abhyasa will certainly go a long way in rooting out fear and craving. Chinta is fear, shoka, sorrow coming from the craving for the things of the world. I suggest one thing. Whenever there is a anxiety or worry, and fear, that is fear only. Whenever there is worry, which is fear only, and sorrow, whenever you experience it, that is human, these things will be there. What you do, the first thing you do is separate yourself from that anxiety and also from that sorrow. You separate yourself, step back. Means you externalize the anxiety and sorrow. You externalize it. Externalize means I am here and I am looking at the sorrow. That is called externalization. Step back means I am here and here is the worry. That is how you separate yourself from the worry or anxiety and from the sorrow. So externalization of fear, worry, and sorrow, etc. Externalization. You understand what is externalization? So that is the first step to liberation. Because they are not you. You are the light. Dhiyo yonah prachodayat. That light you are. You are the Hṛdaya. You are not the body mind. You are the reality which is in the heart. The word, there are these words, Hrit, Harihi, Haraha, Hrim, and Rahim. 5 words. Hrit is same as Hṛdayam. Hrit is same as Hṛdaya. It is just expansion only. Balaha is same as Balakaha. Chit, same as Chaitanyam. Hrit, same as Hṛdayam. So, what is Harihi? Haratiti Harihi. The one who eliminates fear, worry, sorrow from the heart is Hari. You try. Hare Rama. You try. You try when you are alone. Hare Rama. What does it mean? Hare means, oh, the one who eliminates fear and sorrow from the heart. And Rama, what is the Rama? Oh, the one who fills the heart with joy. You try when you are alone, you try. With feeling, with love, with that sense of surrender, which is born out of a sense of utter helplessness also, if you wish, if you will. Out of that sense of surrender. Don't depend upon the outer. If you depend upon the outer, you have lost the game already, even before it begins. You, with that feeling, with that devotion, you do that. Don't complain, I don't have that devotion, I don't have that love, I am Manda, I am Uttama, somebody else is Uttama. Don't complain like that. Because you have it, you are the Atma, you know. Atma is Satchidananda. Ananda is love. Why do you say you don't have love? You should not deny to yourself what is your own. So you say like that, Hare. Hare is not a gentleman sitting somewhere. Hare is that truth which is in your heart that is capable of taking out, rooting out the fear, worry and sorrow. That is the Hare, O Hare. It is an address to the real which is shining in your heart. And then Rama. Rama is happiness, joy. So the one who fills the heart with joy. You say this much, Hare Rama, with a sense of devotion and feeling and love. You do that. And see what happens to your heart. What happens to the sorrow and fear. You try it. Why do you categorize yourself as Manda, Madhyama and Uttama? You try it. It works, I tell you. It works. You see, suppose you say, I don't have the love, I do not get that love. Why don't you get that love? You get it. No, I don't get it. So there is an anecdote, I have to say it. That is the only anecdote available. That is the anecdote is a gentleman went to the Bishop of Geneva. And the bishop advised him, Arey, you should love God. What else the bishop will say? You should love the God. Then the man says, I want to love the God, but I don't know how to love the God. Then the bishop said, you have to love the God. That is the first priority in life, to love the God. Then the man said, Dear Bishop Saab, that is what I am saying. I want to love, but I don't know how to love. You please tell me how to love the God. Then the bishop said, in life you have nothing unless you love God wholeheartedly. You should do that. Then the man complained. I talked with you, you said 3 times, I did not become a wee bit wiser. How to love the God? You please answer that. Then the bishop said, I am answering that only. You are not getting it. I am answering that only. You become an apprentice of love for God. You know talking, you learn talking by talking. As a child who doesn't know talking, what did he do? He was encouraged to talk. And as he is talking, he learned talking. The child cannot even take steps, but he was encouraged by the mother to take steps, faltering steps. And as he is taking faltering steps, he learns walking. Similarly, now you become a babe, spiritual babe, and start loving God in your heart. Do it. Don't ask how. There is no how. You do it. As you do it, you will get it. So that is the way. Sometimes they may say, that is okay, so let me not digress. So you do it and you try it, you will get it. Hare Rama. You try it. Therefore, you have to externalize from the worry and fear. And look at them. First step is to externalize. So Harihi, Haraha, same, Haratiti Haraha. Then, you see, people, they want multiple forms, you know. This is also an issue. Therefore, if you want a woman form, you are not, Harihi and Haraha are male forms. And some people, Harihi is Vishnu form. Haraha is a Shiva form. They are not different. They are not different. They are one and the same. But if you put a form, they appear different. That is the problem. Therefore, there is a problem with the forms also. Why the society is divided vertically into devotees of Vishnu and devotees of Shiva. Why they are divided like that? Because the truth is one. If the truth is one, they should not be divided. They are only worshipping forms of the same truth. They should not be divided. But how come they are divided? Because for them, the form is real. That is the problem. Therefore, so the Harihe, Haraha, and they want a woman's form. They started worshipping Shakti, and so they want a woman's form. You cannot say the woman Harihi, the woman Haraha, you cannot say that. So then the way out is, for the woman, it is all E. E is the woman. Gauri. So Parvati, Shankari, Vaishnavi, Aindri, Chamundi, like that. Chandi, etc. E is woman. Not only E, Eem is even better. Because Eem is woman. Tam Padmini Meem Sharanamaham Prapadye Lakshmir me Nashyatam Tvam Vrune. You must have heard it. Shri Suktam. So what are the words there? Tam Padminim Eem. Tam Padminim Eem. Eem is the goddess. So take Hara or Hari, one and the same. Put Eem. Drop a vowel. You do it all the time. Instead of saying Rama, you say Ram. Instead of saying Jaya, you say Jai. You do all kinds of things, dropping the words get dropped. Therefore, you drop the vowel, it becomes a Hṛdayam. Same word. So the one who takes the roots out the sorrow and fear from the heart, Hṛdayam. Then Hṛdayam went to Middle East. You see, from our village, one Purohit went to London and stayed there for a year or two, and he came back. Now he wears a jean pant, and there is no tuft of hair behind. There is cropping here, and he is wearing a coat kind of thing. First, I could not recognize. He must be some person who came from London. He is not some person from London. He is our Purohit only. Only thing is he went to London and came back. Similarly, and so there is a change in appearance inside the same guy. Similarly, this Hṛdayam went to Middle East and came back as Rahim. Same it is, same, one and the same. Brahma went to the Middle East and came back as Abraham. Okay? So, Isha went to the Middle East and came back as Jesus. And also Isha. Isha is also there. Jesus, I and J are interchangeable. Appa. They are not different. I and J. You write the spelling J and pronounce it as I. I have seen it. They write J and pronounce it as something else. They don't pronounce J. If you give it to me, I will nicely pronounce J. But they don't pronounce J. I'm not getting the word now. Jehovah. It is Jehovah, it is. It is Jehovah. Why do you make it Jehovah? So, therefore, Jesus is Jesus, Isha. Therefore, they are all same. And it is the same as Hṛdayam. So, what is Hari, Hara, Hṛdayam, Rahim? It is same as Hṛt. And it is same as Aditya. That is how you have to understand. Therefore, chintāśōka-praśamanam. So, you see, the physical events will be going on. Things happen. What happens, happens. The physical events will go on happening. So, they are not important in themselves. Their impact upon you, they make you worried, frightened, and they make you sorrowful. That is the point. And therefore, ignore the events. You examine the fear, the anxiety, the sorrow in you. And how to do that? You step back and externalize the fear. Even physical pain the same way. Even physical pain, you watch the limb where you experience pain. Watch that limb. Suppose knee pain, you be aware of the knee and you watch the pain. That kind of a watching of the pain in a limb has a therapeutic effect. Sare, if the pain is more, you take some ibuprofen tablet, that is always there. But that must be the second option, not first option. Otherwise, it will stop functioning, stop working. You develop tolerance. Therefore, watching the pain means you are externalizing the pain. That has therapeutic effect. Similarly, watching the worry, anxiety, and sorrow has a wonderful effect. That means you are externalizing them. That is the first step in getting liberated from sorrow and pain and fear. So, chintāśōka-praśamanaṃ, āyurvardhanam. So, ayuhu is a lifespan. What is the lifespan? You don't decide it. You don't decide it. Leave it in the hands of the higher power. How long this body should be alive? Leave it in the hands of the higher power. Okay? So, Vyashema devahitam yadayuhu. That is the prayer. We get that much lifespan which is willed by the higher power. Devahitam. Only that much we get. That is enough. If the higher power wills 75 years, great. If it wills 76, great. If it wills 10 for someone, that is all right. That is how it works. Therefore, this is āyurvardhanam. The lifespan is you leave it to the higher power, the will of the higher power. Therefore, the sun and the God abiding in the heart will decide the ayu. And whatever ayu God decides, you will live that. A person asked me, they say alpayushkaha. He has less ayu. It is a wrong expression. It is not less ayu. It is full ayu for that person. You see, you tell me the sesame seed is there. Sesame seed. Is it full size or small size? You tell me. Full size. It is full size. If you get a sesame seed this much, you won't use it. Sesame seed, the size in which it is available, that is the full size. Suppose the mosquito is there. You don't have mosquitoes in this country. In India, we have mosquitoes. Suppose the mosquito is like cockroach, then there will be problem. Mosquito, the full size is that size only. Okay. So, therefore, what is the full lifespan? There is no one fixed number, full lifespan. Okay? So, whatever the higher power wills, that is the full lifespan. No, he died at the age of 32. That is the full lifespan. He lived his full lifespan. Nobody dies before. Nobody lives longer. So that is the devahitam yat ayuhu. Ayuhu navamsakalinga. Ayuhu ayushi ayumshi. So devahitam yat ayuhu vyashema. May we get it. Therefore āyurvardhanam. The Bhagavan will bless you with the full lifespan, full length of life. And that means will he increase? No, he won't increase. He will keep it the way it is. Means the idea is as long as you live, that length of the life is determined by the higher power. Āyurvardhanam. Then uttamam. So we are finishing that verse now, today. Uttamam. You see, Shri Krishna, Ramana Maharshi said, uttaram uttamam. Ut great or good. Uttaram gooder. Uttamam goodest. Good, gooder, goodest. Correct? That is the way it is. Forget about Victorian English. Good, gooder, goodest. Uttara and Uttama. Okay? So, this I have learned from CNN. CNN uses that language. It is American language. It is there. Really, I'm not joking. It is there for bad also. Oh, it is better. It is better. So some coffee, etc. was given. It is not good for his taste. Oh, it is better. That is what he says. That is how it is. Okay? So, what is Ut? You worship an idol. Is Ut. Great. Go ahead. So, provided you understand the symbolism, it is Ut. If you don't understand the symbolism, it is not even Ut. So, you understand the symbolism, it is Ut. And then you say verbally, close the eyes and say verbally, Hare Rama. That is Uttara. Superior. And you feel it in your heart. In your heart you feel. That is Uttama. Now, Upasana is Uttama. Physical worship, verbal and mental. Mental worship is Uttama. Aditya Hṛdayam is Uttamam. In Upadesha it came how? So, Kayikam, Kayamāṅmanah pūjanam kramat. In Upadesha Sara. It is somewhere in the beginning only. Kaya, Vak, Manaha, Kramat, sequentially, Uttara and Uttama. Okay? Therefore, Aditya Hṛdaya is the Upasana. It is not so much a chant, or it is not some flowers are put to Aditya. You don't offer flowers to the rising sun. That is not the way. You can offer water if you wish, with Gayatri mantra. Therefore, that bhavana in the heart, that feeling in the heart. There is no feeling in the head. There is only calculation and logic, etc. in the head. Feeling is in the heart. So you feel that effulgence of Ishvara, not only in the solar orb, but also in the heart. That is Uttamam. We finished that verse. We move on to the next verse and see what it says. Raśmimantaṃ samudyantaṃ dēvāsura namaskṛtam pūjayasva vivasvantaṃ bhāskaraṃ bhuvanēśvaram. So Agastya is advising Rama, hey Rama, take 2 minutes time, then you're going to go to the battlefield. That is okay. In those days, battlefield was like that. Mutually agreed place and time. That is how battles are fought. Even in Europe, there was what is called a duel, not duel, duel. Two people fight with each other verbally. And then they settle to decide the fight by taking swords or guns even. And so a place will be fixed. There will be an adjudicator. And one person to support this guy, and another person to support that guy, a middleman. So total 5 people. They assemble in a predetermined place, in a garden or whatever, open space. And then at an appointed time, 7 in the morning. So they will be standing and then putting the guns at each other, pointing at each other. And the middleman, 1, 2, 3, he says, and you fire. You shoot the other person correctly in the heart, he will die. And so he is lost. This man is the victor. That is how they used to settle. Not take gun and put him down. Not like a modern warfare. So this also same way. Rama and Ravana, they both agree to start the fight. Then only the fight will begin. Therefore Rama has a few minutes time. If Rama is looking at the sun and doing namaskar, Ravana will not start the fight. He will wait. Therefore, take your time. Hey Rama, no hurry, take your time. I am adding that, okay? Pūjayasva vivasvantaṃ. Please pray to the Lord Aditya, the Bhagavan in the form of Aditya. The word puja is used. Puja is not the same in all contexts. Suppose you want to do puja to a guest, what will you do? Put him in a chair and put flowers on his feet and flowers on his head. Arey, give him a cup of coffee, appa. That is not the puja. So I went to a place. The person told her, please come Swamiji, let us meditate. He said, you let us meditate? That is how you welcome the guest? I said, I am coming from a distance. Let us have a cup of coffee. Not meditate. You do your meditation, I will do my meditation. So for all the same method, it should not apply. So for a guest, puja is give food. Then for a cow is an animal. You give harati to the cow, it will be bewildered. It is uncomfortable. It doesn't know how to deal with that situation. And it is afraid. And it pushes its horns also. You should not do harati like this to cow. Wrong. You are frightening the poor animal. He doesn't know this harati. And then put kunkuma to cow. You should not do that. Because cow, its eyes are a bit protruding. That socket is not there for the cow. Whereas we have a socket. Therefore, if you put some bhasma, the socket kind of these eyebrows and socket, they help to protect the eyes to some extent. But if you put bhasma to the cow, this much kunkuma you put to the cow, some of it will go into its eyes. Its irises are a kind of protruding, and it falls on the irises and it becomes very disturbed. You should not do bottu for cow. You put it. This much kunkuma you put on your head. Don't do all that to the cow. Then go puja. How to do go puja? Worship of cow. Bring bananas and give to it. You should not give this biryani to the cow. because it may not be able to digest. We don't know what is its system. Banana you give, green grass you give, whatever it likes to eat you give, and then let it go its way. So puja is not same for all. Shodashopachara puja you should not start for everything. Shankaracharya, Shodashopachara, Yajñopavitam samarpayami. He doesn't wear Yajñopavita. Should have some, that common sense should be there. The puja must be appropriate. Pūjayasva, the Āditya, you worship. It means the mental worship. Always with reference to Āditya, the mental worship. If at all you offer arghyam with Gayatri mantra, if you have that habit, and if you know Gayatri mantra, and if it is the right time, rise and set, rising and setting, then you may offer arghyam, water with the right hand, 3 times, not more than that, 3 times. Some people do it 1 time also, but 3 times is the maximum. That is the puja. So, He Rama, you worship the rising sun. We'll finish that verse in tomorrow's class. Purnamidam